one. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ACG, where we're just a couple gamers. It's your boy Smooth.
It's your boy Doc.
And this is episode 99 of Godfather Family Dynasty, entitled Player Suggestions. And boy, oh boy, I never realized how many suggestions there actually were, and how much the community has shared their feedback. I guess I just never realized, but that's awesome. I'm glad that the community has decided to share their feedback and give it to the devs, and we've done these player suggestions before, but I wanted to take it a step further, and I went not as far back as I could, because we're gonna do more player suggestions, but it's kind of like taking a walk back into the past. But before we get into any of the player suggestions and stuff, I gotta do what I gotta do. So Doc, talk to him for just a minute, man.
We've done these. Oh, no doubt. What's going on, everybody? Man, welcome to another podcast. 99. You know what I mean? Like we're almost at that 100 mark. First and foremost, want to welcome everybody back into the chat mafia room. Come on in. If you're at work, hopefully you're almost taking a lunch. Man, there'll be a good little lunch break thing to do, listening to us on the pod. What else we got going on? We have a nice little kill event pre-week this week for our zone. Nothing needs to be said about that. I think we're all at that point where we all know what we got to do. So this is just a friendly PSA from Doc to you. Bubble up. What else we got going on? As Smooth mentioned, today we're going to be talking about player suggestions. Anybody that comes in the chat mafia, you got any suggestions? And please, let's be positive minded about it. All right. Any suggestions that you guys have? I know we've had an episode about this before, but me and Smooth were talking about it, and I think it'd be good to bring it back up again, and also get that interaction and that receptiveness from you guys, especially after what transpired a while back. So with that being said, light up Chat Mafia, light it up. Let's get this chat going. Let's talk about some things. Especially those in zone where we are. It's a lot of things we could talk about, especially those in other servers. They got a server war coming up. That's something to talk about. So like I said, guys, just, open your minds and let's get chatting. Any suggestions for what needs to be done, you know what you got to do. What else we got going on? Yeah, that's pretty much about it. I don't know what else to say, but man, it's good to know that we're at 99 episodes, though.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
You know what I mean? Like, that is phenomenal. And it couldn't be done without everyone's support. You know what I mean? Even those that were here and that are no longer here, those that came on as guests, each and every one of you were a part of what's becoming. So shout out to each and every one of y'all. Salute. To kind of stoked and excited, especially after what was discussed after the last episode, how we want to get back into the original philosophy of, what the podcast was all about, what the podcast was meaning. Not taking away the educational aspect, still that educational, informational aspect of the podcast is very, very informal and very appreciative and very, I can tell you right now, useful, right? So that's not going away. More along the lines is, script play, do some things along the lines where it's different. And I love the idea that Smooth brought out that day on that podcast. And I'm really looking forward to see where we can go with that. And so that's my suggestion, seeing how far we can get with these scripts and, Mr. Editor over there, editing to a T. So it's going to be exciting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really excited and waiting for what's coming down the pipeline as well. What's up, though? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say shout out to Farelli, shout out to Young Sweets, shout out to Empress. What's up, everybody? So listen, guys, the amount of really cool suggestions that I see in here from some of the players is like I can't believe that some of this stuff wasn't implemented already, to be honest with you. So I remember saying a long time ago that I thought it would be cool to being able to give people like respect points, right? Because that's what the Mafia was all about. It was all about respect. The person who had the most respect had the most connections, they had the most friends, they had the most power, right? So I was like, yo, respect points would be cool. And then as I was searching through here, I saw somebody posted, it would be really cool to have honor points, where you could give players honor points. And I'm like, yo, that's basically the same thing that I was saying. Like, so I'm not the only person thinking it. And what I really think is cool is that you can see that there are other like-minded individuals, players. If you scroll through the suggestions, you'll see that there's players in here that you've never met that have the same ideas you do, and I think that's really cool. Okay,
I want to tap in on that though.
Yeah,
I think it'd be dope. I'll tell you right now, dog. I think it'd be dope if you put a honor and a respect medal in versus just 1 and 1. Why not utilize 2? You got to think about it. Back in the day in the Mafia, a lot of code of Mafia was what? Honor, respect, integrity. You know what I'm saying? So what not better way to boost certain attributes or boost certain capos or boost your hotel, because your hotel is actually the one that holds those predominant capos that help your mansion and your troops and helps you in the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what not better way to put something together where you put an honor medal and a respect medal, right? And you put it as a point system. However the developers can put it together. I ain't the engineer for that, right? But I think that would be cool, dog. I think it'd be solid. You know what I mean? Like being the boss of a family and being able to hand out honor and respect to players that are really fulfilling the game and what the game is about, and that'd be dope.
Yeah, and well, first I want to say I agree with you. And second, just so everybody knows what we're talking about here. Well, first, Empress says, I love the respect point system or honor points. Farelli says, Mr. Smooth, can I come into the podcast? Yeah, you can come into the podcast, but we're gonna need you to get a hold of one of the moderators that are available. Lethal is in the chat right now. She can try and direct you. Lethal, make sure you find out what they want to talk about before you put them in. But so guys, we are taking, like I said, a walk back into the past here. This is March 28th of 2023, and Biction in the suggestions in the Godfather Family Dynasty official Discord says each week you'd be able to send honor points to other players. So it would be a weekly thing depending upon your rank. I like that. I also think it would be cool, like, so it's different, right? Like if an underboss or a consigliere has something good to say about you, that holds weight. But if somebody who's a lieutenant or a soldier has something to say about you, it doesn't. So I feel like dependent upon your rank should be dependent upon how many respect points you should be able to give, right? Like the Don of the family should obviously be able to give the most, right?
Yeah, but I
also I just want to say, not to cut you off, but in the other game that I play, I won't mention the name, but it's similar to Godfather. You have so much power in the criminal underworld that if your family takes Center City or whatever, right, you have all the power, you can give negative attributes to certain players that have actual, like, logos. So, like, all right, this is just for an example. When you scroll on the world map, if there's a particular player who is known for being a troll or known for just breaking server rules or whatever, right, you can give, I think it's called, like, jokester or something like that, right? It's the equivalent of, like, lame. Right, and or equivalent of like troublemaker, and that has negative attributes. Like you literally get a negative like 20% defense or negative, you know what I'm saying? That's just an example, but you get negative effects and they can keep that on you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's ways that you could add certain things that where if you have control, if you're a Don, then that means you actually have control of something. You know what I'm saying? And like that's cool. Like if you can, if somebody is being a troll and enough players band together to give them negative honor points, it should automatically negatively impact your play, right? Because you're negative on the server, so the server is letting everybody know that you're negative. Like I like that system. And then if you're a good person, there should be certain things like let's just say, for example, we're controlling Center City, right? And we take control of it. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. You have the responsibility of when we take blocks, right? You can assign certain things, right? You can assign certain gift packs, you can assign whatever, right, to players. You should be able to assign somebody certain buffs. Just for example, somebody who's the nicest player, they're always helping other players. You should be able to assign them like player elder or server elder or something like that. And then with that buff, you get something cool, right? I'm just saying because it's being done. It's being done in other games. You got anything to say on that before we go to the next suggestion?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I got a lot to say about that. Here's my thing. Like, you notice how we bring up the honor and the respect point system, and you notice that the Don obviously can be the one to dish them out. But I think this is where you bring the synchronicity of the leadership together versus the Don handing them out. You place a responsibility on your R5 or your R4, right? Pretty much that gives them that responsibility to see which players are doing what they're doing and which players aren't doing what they're doing, right? And then they come up, we have our little leadership meeting, and then bam, you know what? We feel like this person's supposed to do this. I think this person deserves this for doing what they do. And then you give your R5s or your R4s that ability to give it to them, right? And I think what that does for the player that receives it from an R4 or R5, it gives them that kind of, I want to say, that little fire and be like, whoa, people are paying attention to me, right? Because a lot of times when we play this game, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times leadership forget players in the game. Okay, let's just keep it 100. I think having this type of system will be amazing because it'll keep people on tone, but it also keep people playing the game and holding them accountable for the position that they requested.
I agree.
And I think that'll be a dope thing, right? Because what's going to have to happen is that means you're going to have to really communicate, right? You can't have backdoor deals. You can't have, you know what I'm saying? You can't go behind closed doors and talk one thing and not know another. No, this makes it transparent for everybody, especially if you're going to give it away to your players to help them, right? Because honestly, those points, or if it ever did happen, those points should be able to boost certain things in those players' arsenal, mansion, hotel, like I was mentioning before. You know what I mean? But bro, if that idea happened, that'd be dope. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dude. I'll be on it. That's what I have to say about that.
Well, and you're right. And being able to hold people accountable for, the things that they're doing, whether it be good or bad, is awesome, I think.
Think about this. Just imagine if you had a Blinky in your family, right? And Blinky accidentally hit, let's say, a Chaos member, right? And so Blinky comes to management and goes, hey guys, I accidentally hit a Chaos member. I apologize, right? Now, realistically, do we think that's going to happen? No, I'm just giving an example, right? But that shows honor, right? Doesn't it? Because he's being accountable for that action. Me being a leader in an R5 position, I would definitely go to the R6 like, look, dude, he was accountable for it. He deserves that. Like little things like that, you know what I mean, can do a lot. And so I think that's a good idea.
Well, that's just one of many I'm scrolling through here and reading. Let's go on to the next one here. Let me see. Let's see.
Hey, while we're waiting, I want to go ahead and see what Chat Mafia is talking about. We got Empress talking about, I would love to have where players could send things to each other if you're in the same family, like resources and whatnot. So that's a suggestion. And I remember we were talking about that suggestion a while back. Do you remember about that one? And I'm going to put that one to the side, but I have that notated. We can bring that up down the road. But I think that's a good suggestion as well, though.
Yeah, it really is.
And then we got Empress stating, I agree, Smooth. That sounds dope. Shout out to Lethal. Shout out to India. Shout out to Empress. Shout out to those that are on the podcast listening but haven't said anything in Chat Mafia. Look, y'all, don't be scared, man. We don't fight.
Give us
you know what
ideas.
I mean? Like, yeah, let us know what y'all think. Give us some ideas and some suggestions. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to do a commercial. I didn't mean to do a commercial there.
So I'm reading a lot about how the martial arts studio needs an update. And you know what's crazy?
Well, yeah.
I think I kind of got tricked into just kind of believing that the martial arts studio was good enough. I don't know, like until I started reading all these comments, I didn't really think about it, but then I was like, yo, it's been exactly the same since day one, like that I ever played.
It has. It literally has, though. It hasn't changed.
Okay. So I don't know if Tachka and if Tachka in 2022 was actually talking about the literal God or not, which he said, not sure if God can help, but there's people that definitely can help with that cash flow. And people were saying they needed help with the negative amount of cash flow that they have.
Stop spending.
Stop spending. Budget.
Stop spending. Budget show. And I'm only being sarcastic, y'all. Do not take me seriously because I've been down that rabbit hole. All right. I think a good suggestion is make sure you don't overproduce troops. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you don't overproduce your troops. They have a paycheck that they need to get. And that paycheck is coming out of your funds. So you're the boss. I would just like kind of balance that out in a sense. But on the flip side, you don't want to because you want to increase your troop size. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you go to battle. But if that's one of those questions that you have to ask yourself, do I do it? Or do I just say F it and just stay in the negative?
I can't do three things at once, so I just need to know what's it about. I'm not entering. Okay, well then that's fine. Farrelly, until I know what you want to come on and talk about in detail, I can't just have you on. But Angel,
I think another thing that you can do suggest-wise is, obviously make sure you're gathering cash on a daily basis. And then what you do is go be gangster about it and go have your accountants flip that and launder it and wash it. You know what I mean? And keep that in constant flow. If your accounting building is not working 24 hours a day, you're not doing something right. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you.
Well, they're saying that they don't even have cash to launder. So that there's something off with their building. That could be one problem, like their building levels.
Or they're not gathering. I mean, that could be another.
I'm not really sure. Maybe too many troops. Yeah. And you can't.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it can be too many troops, but my thing is if you're not gathering cash and your cash is dwindling, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing justice for yourself. You may have to sacrifice some time to get some gathering up to get your cash up, but if you don't have any cash, that's when you need to step up that gathering game and get that game going. Not unless you're a spender where you can go buy you a resource pack and then all of a sudden you have cash being made like the Federal Reserve System makes it for the United States. So it's up to you and how you play it. I just want to throw that out there too, though, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. Angel from 10.8 says in 2022, we're going back 2 years now, for a Christmas theme store, make optional chests for ornaments, metals, and stones. By this,
I agree.
I mean having chests that give you your choice of ornament, metals, and stones. That way, if for whatever reason anyone missed an ornament, metal, or a stone when it was released, they have a chance to get it for Christmas. The reasoning behind this, events are now being played on a global basis. This will give new servers a slightly more leveled playing field with old servers. Additionally, from business point of view, the new mechanic is dress-up features. If I missed one of the ornaments this year, then next year I'm going to try to get an ornament instead of something that can only be used for one capo. In other words, it is better to have players focused on getting new features rather than getting year-old features. That's a great point.
I like that. That's a great one.
And I think a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, hey, kudos to you, bro. Shout out to you. I personally agree with that. Reason being because ornaments are really kind of hard to come by. Not ornaments, but like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, ornaments. I mean, they can come by with certain events and stuff. But like those items that he spoke about are real rarities. And I think if you do it once a year, that'd be dope. I think that'd be cool. You're not really overdoing it, you know what I'm saying? And you're really helping those that really can't get those pieces, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Without spending it, that makes sense.
I agree. Give me 1 second.
So with that,
okay.
that'd be the best thing to do.
Wait, where'd it go? Yeah, I just need you to vet him and just make sure he's not a troll or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just have somebody on and then they destroy the entire episode, so I need you to talk to him. Okay, so someone says, please sell red chips in the event store again. The price of the Halloween event store, things are high, so I've just been buying blue chips. Not really, that was Tony Pepperoni.
I think, he said blue chips?
He wants to be able to get red chips instead of just blue chips.
I see what you're saying.
Let's see.
Isn't there a casino pack? I want to say. I could be wrong.
A what pack?
But y'all that's out. A casino pack.
Yeah, there's casino packs.
Right. And in those casino packs, don't they give you a certain amount of red chips?
Yeah.
Okay. So he may need to start, and this is just a suggestion, making sure you look at, well, I'm not saying he doesn't, so I can't say that. I don't want to make it seem like he doesn't do that. Now, unless it sounds like they need to put more red chips into these packs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just like, some of these people are just trolling, bro, in the suggestions. Let's see.
You said trolling, bro.
Someone said, Crazy Meow said, let's get rid of the capo exhaustion for FCL. It's utterly ridiculous. I second that shit.
What is it?
I second it. Capo exhaustion and FCL is ridiculous. Also, can we make it where we can tell whom is killing the invasion bosses on our own?
I know. I remember that was suggested before. I remember that we talked about that on the pod too.
Yeah. This is a good one. Fartuk says, wait, hold on, wait, where'd it go? He said, the word free, I have no idea why this word looks like it's bleeped out. And please add in males from the invasion event names of players who kill my bosses and elites. So again, it goes back to the telling people who's killing everybody's bosses so you guys can know who that guy is or who that girl is. And also, he's basically saying why are certain words bleeped out of chats. It's annoying. So get rid of that. So great suggestion.
I feel him. I feel him on that one, 100%. Now, when it comes to what was the first one again?
The invasion bosses, like people murdering each other players' invasion bosses.
I remember we had a podcast on that.
Yeah, we talked about that,
and we talked about it. And honestly, I suggest y'all come up with a game plan like the suggestion that was on the podcast. Because if you think about it, that boss, the orange dude, he's big in power. But I mean, you can share the wealth. But then there's some players that don't want to share the wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of hard. And I don't think the developers, and I'm not saying they won't do it, but I don't think the developers will do something like that. I could be wrong.
Leandros 197817 in 2022 said the owl blueprint must be decreased to 1,600 candy jars to at least give the chance for all to try and get it. If a few can accomplish their goals, the event will be a failure. If many participate because they will feel they have a chance, then the event will be a success. Especially without chess during CCSE week, players that log in daily are active need motives. My man, that's a great one.
Yeah. Great. That is a great one right there. Shout out to that player right there.
Let's see. Hold on. People are saying that in the science points event, that the amount of points required to get the gold reward needs to be reduced in the science event. He said, I don't see often players who can get 40,000 points in the science event. Yeah. Someone said, I think maybe it's time to change the sign-in rewards. I'd never thought about that, but damn it, that's another one that they tricked me into believing.
That is a good one.
That it was
that is a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, bro.
It's doing something special for you. Like, it's doing something big for you.
Imagine going to a bingo hall and getting the same colored bingo sheet every time you go. You know what I'm saying? You know how there's like all the different colors and like everybody else has all the cool colors, but they just give you the same colored bingo sheet. Like, that's what you have in front of you every time you go. Bro,
I'm not going.
Change it up, bro.
Right. Do something.
Yeah.
Instead of 5, put 10. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 10, put 15 or something. But like 5, what is that gonna do for it? And it's 5,000. That ain't gonna do nothing for nobody, boss. 25 racks ain't gonna do anything for nobody.
Let me see. Hold on, I'm trying to find a good one, guys. Okay, Cuddy says, would like to see a mansion level tournament in the future. Example, all mansion levels 25 through mansions 35, but they would have to battle the same level, 25 versus 25, 26 versus 26, and so on and so forth, kind of like Champions League, but for specific mansion levels. Battle the mansion levels. That's a dope-ass suggestion. I like that,
That's
Cuddy.
a nice idea. That's a nice idea right there. That would be dope, though. Yeah, that'd be nice. Ooh. Just think about that. Then you put it into like an NCAA format.
Yeah.
Oh, player, game over.
Yeah.
Game over.
This dude Harvey back in 2022 has a really great suggestion. Harvey says, I'm tired of overusing my speed ups. They tried to get me to use a 1 hour. Over a 1 hour speed up for less than an hour. So like they're like basically if you have 20 hours and 5 minutes on your building, it's going to try and get you to use 21 hours worth of speed ups. Instead of being like, hey, are you sure you want to use this much? It's only, you know what I'm saying? 10 extra minutes.
Right.
Like
right.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Someone named Osama Thizzle.
That's a good
This
name.
dude is trolling. All right. And 2022 says, could we add a rule about bashing? Which this goes back to what we initially talked about, where if you are more than 3 times bigger than the person you're attacking, you get disciplined. It's a game killer for us who are still learning the game, and someone who has 7 million points backed by a family with 80 million plus points attacked and slows the production. I have in-game moderators who keep track of these players and give them a 3-day ban or something. I mean, you're not wrong in a lot of ways, my friend. You're not wrong in a lot of ways.
But
yeah, and then
it's a mafia game,
right?
It's a mafia game, and so I definitely see where this player is coming from. All right, totally respect that. But at the end of the day, when you get the server war, all that's out the door. Facts. So, I mean, it's a give or take, in my opinion,
agree.
when it comes to that.
Well, for a second, I want to talk about a suggestion that I saw earlier, which is really cool, and it makes me wonder. I want to go back and find this guy. So I played a game called MafiaMob.com way back in the day, bro. I'm talking, it was the first Mafia game I ever played. I think I was 11 years old. I randomly found it online somehow. I don't remember how. And I was so addicted to this game. It was even for its time, I think the game had already been out for over 10 years. And so there was just OG players, bro. You're talking about like maybe 6 players left in the entire game when I found it. They were all dons of their own families. They had millions and millions of cash or whatever, hundreds of millions of cash, but they never left because they were loyal to the game, right? And so when I joined, I'm learning from all the OGs of different families and shit. And the way my boy Imp runs farms, he has like 40 farm accounts. Each one of these 6 players had like 40 of their own accounts in their own family, just farming, right?
Right.
So anyways, one of the suggestions that I seen was having jobs. Excuse me. Where you can pull off like bank heists and stuff like that, right? But it would be specific the way the train is, where instead of putting your capos in there, you would put yourself in there, and it would go based off of some type of either imprint system that you have, where if you're running a tough guy imprint, or not tough guy, I'm sorry, a toughness imprint, right, or a power imprint, like you would be specific. So let's just say to do a bank heist, I need a power guy driving, I need 2 gunners, right? So that's gonna be your toughness, or I mean your gun metal, your gun imprint, right? And then like say you needed a bomber, right, to be a lookout or something like that. You could have everybody can jump in, and then you get rewards based off of that, doing jobs together. And then the other part of his idea, which I thought was even better part, which is cool as hell, was taken from another game that me and Lethal play, and it's synergy. So every time you pull off heists and jobs with these other players, if you're using the same players on a team, you get synergy. Your synergy with those players goes up, so your success rate of doing the jobs and the amount of rewards you get goes up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's an amazing
dope.
Suggestion, to be honest with you. It's one of the best.
Right.
I'm gonna keep that. And a matter of fact, we could do like every month a top player suggestions or something, and get like the top 10 player suggestions that we found over the month. That's good.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good one. Kudos.
Also, Hunter from 2022 says, maybe we should finally get new hobby fragments in the train station. since they updated with all these new capos. That's a good point.
That is a good point. I give you that 500%.
Zebo in 2022 said, "Would be nice to see rewards for every elite gang, since we're using so many speed ups to heal." Let's see. They should just make a massive elite gang. Anubis in 2022 says, "They should just make a massive elite gang that goes up by tier. Hitting it causes damage and you get rewards for each hit. The bigger rewards for clearing a tier, and then a massive family prize for those that can clear it. Also adding in rewards for most kills, last round hits, something like Fortress of Enemies that you can have to clear." That's dope.
That is dope, though. I like that idea. Bring something different, bro.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, they do need to spice this game up a little, bro. Change it up in a way that'll, digitally, so people can, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make it like a real mob game. I mean, it is a real mob game, but I think there's some other stuff that can be implemented.
Tashka says, "Why'd they give Johnny Fontaine a dress up? I mean, Philip, he's a driver capo. At least he's very useful. But Fontaine?"
That's a good one. He said, "Why Fontaine, though, boss? Like, what is the?"
Let's see here.
What's another good suggestion? So Cuddy was Young Sweets. Shout out to Young Sweets.
Young Sweets.
Just said a shout out for reading my old suggestion from a couple years ago that used my name.
That's awesome. Lazarus brings up a amazing point here. And again, this is 2022, but he says, "Other games have a migration option. Why don't we have a migration option?" I'm glad you said that. And I'm going to bring this up because this is crazy and coincidental that I just read that. We're going to be doing a episode tomorrow, I believe, on the other game that I'm sponsored by. And it's actually an entire episode on server migration. Let me tell you how the server migration in that game works. Okay? It's basically the equivalent of the Godfather, right? He's the Don of Dons. When you capture the center city or whatever, right? You become like the Don of Dons, the president. And at that point, you can assign all of your management or just any member at all you want from your family into certain roles. Like you have like an advisor role, you have like a diplomat role, you have like a treasurer role, a secretary role. And each one of these roles, they have certain responsibilities, but they also have a certain amount of power. Now, the president, this is how much power he has. Before the server migration starts, each president from each server can set certain settings to allow certain power players into their server and exclude certain amount of players from coming into their server. So for instance, you have the ability to set it where if you're at 100 million power or higher, you cannot come to my server. If you're below a certain amount of power, you can come migrate to my server. Now, I brought up a good point to Smash, and I said, Smash, well, what if somebody is a super spender and they don't care about firing 20 million troops? They can just buy it back once they migrate over. He said, we've already talked about it, and me and the other strongest players in the server are going to be watching from the time server migration starts, and anybody that came over, we're going to be watching them like a hawk. And if we start to see serious growth, he said, then me and the other spenders are just going to start spending like crazy and just destroy them as soon as we see it. So I'm like, whoa, bro, that is some serious stuff. But I understand what Lazarus is saying. A server migration would be really cool. That would be cool to see that implemented. I don't know that it would work because, well, you already know why. Anything you want to say on
Right.
that?
Nah, you pretty much hit it on the head.
Oh yeah. One other thing. So let's just say you need one. So okay, let's just say if you're between 0 power and 3 million power, it would cost you 1 server migration certificate. If you're 10 million power, it would cost you 2. If you're 15 or 20, it would cost you 3 or 4. And each migration certificate is $100.
That's crazy.
So imagine
though.
you're 80 million power, how many certificates you would need to get before you could migrate.
A grip.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
too- yeah,
like
that's
how
crazy,
much
bro.
money do you want to spend to migrate to cause problems?
If I gotta pay a car note or a rent note, I'm good. Ain't no need to migrate. Solid.
There's I see that Lazarus's migration comment caused a chaos in the suggestions chat.
That's crazy. Well, was it good? Like good feedback suggestions?
No, not really. I see a lot of people talking about trying to just load a bunch of servers into one because of player loss. More about banned words.
I mean, some of them words, man, they need to unban. Gold, wife, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. That kills me. They do need to unban some of them words, though. That's the funny part about that, though.
Hold on. Alright, so before we get out of here, I'm going to read this from Hulk. Dear development team, United players of Godfather, Family Dynasty have come together with a list of items that are long overdue to be updated. The hospital. Reduced healing time by 75% and capacity to be increased by 150% of players' current troop size with a decrease in the amount. Increased routine rewards. Family trading. Allow family trading of resources. Rubber and bank. Allow players to obtain rubber and bank via resource tiles events on their home servers. Also allow cobs to include rubber and bank. Specialty items. Allow players to more easily obtain specialty items such as alloy, wrenches, and gems, perhaps through specialty item tiles and CCSE. But I do want to say shout out to everybody from Godfather Family Dynasty for sharing their suggestions. They really do help and they really do make a difference. And it's my pleasure and Doc's pleasure to be able to give these suggestions and put them out there into the world. Thank you everybody from Chat Mafia for coming and tuning in. I got to get ready for work. I appreciate all of you. Before we get out of here, anything you want to say to the people, Doc?
Nah. Great show today. Remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Appreciate all the love that we got in today. And see y'all next time.
Later, everybody. Peace.
Deuces. Peace.
That was a good pod.
Yeah.